Hey, good morning from Three Forks, Montana, where, there's snow. You ought to know. Look at that nice white fluffy stuff. You know, that's, I think I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video. A little bit about winter safety. Well, I won't say really winter safety, but winter awareness. But before I get into that, as usual, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's really awesome. And if you are new here, please click on that bell so you don't miss no future episodes. Also, I want to thank my old subscribers for hanging in there. Again, without all my subscribers, this channel wouldn't be where it is today. And I really want to thank you guys for that. Also, I want to thank... not thank. I just want to say, share if you care. Leave a comment down below if you choose to do so. Just like that. And if you really like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. 2, 4, 6 times. As long as if it ends with an even number, hey, we'll get along good. That's awesome. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit about the snow, I think. That's what this video, it won't be very long. And all it is just awareness of your surroundings. Okay? And I'll give a good example. I was on the Snoqualmie in Washington earlier this week, and I had the chain lights were on. Now, for me, chaining up, I don't like it. I avoid it. I really do. But only reason why I hit it this time is because it said traction tires, and as soon as I get there, it says chain up. All vehicles must chain up. So I got there and the shoulder was packed. It was double parked on the shoulder, and that itself is very dangerous, right? I don't like chaining up because there's a lot of danger factors that people don't think of, or if they do, they don't really I don't know the word. They really don't care. I don't know if it's the right word or not, but we'll go with care, and you guys can figure it out for yourself. Especially when you double park the truck on the outside, he's the one at the most risk, because you're only like a foot, maybe a foot and a half away from that white line. And there are people, when they chain up, they don't really pay attention when they put the chains on. All they do is just slap it on, hook it, and then they drive. They go back, try to go back up to highway speed, so when they go by say 40, 50 miles an hour, all you hear is that I don't even know if that's the right noise, but that's what it sounds like. And what that is the chain on loose, and it's hitting the mud flap, it's hitting the frame, it's hitting the wheel well, and it's even hitting the fuel tank. Like, it can hit the fuel tank after it damages the fender in the front. And Also, when it's like that, if you're on that outside lane and that chain happens to fly off or a piece of it breaks off and it hits you, it can injure you. It can kill you. You know, so there are disadvantages to this. Really, there are, and it's sad. Another thing you have to worry about is the guys who don't slow down for the chaining area. They just, right? What happens if they hit a patch of ice or all of a sudden their car jerks and loses control, takes out, right? It can happen. Not saying I don't wish it would happen. Not wishing that would happen at all. But it's things like that make it really dangerous. Even if you're double parked on the shoulder and this guy that's right by that line and you're far over, that car still can slide into you. That piece of chain still can fly, right? Just because of the momentum. Now, I myself, I'm not a huge fan of chaining up. Okay, so I try to avoid it at all times. Now, I want to see, leave a comment below, just let me know what you think. Did I actually chain up or I didn't? Okay, now I'll explain. What I did is when I got to the area, it was near the end of my day and I took my time. I did chain up. So that is called chaining up. I guess technically it's chaining up. But I never used them. So while I was chaining up, I noticed all of a sudden there was no traffic and the shoulder for the chaining up was starting to get less and less. And it was clear. And there was no cars coming, no trucks, no more vehicles coming at all. And I thought, oop, this isn't good. It's pretty quiet. So instead of moving, I just stayed there. I waited. And all of a sudden, shoo, 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 like vehicles passing, trucks passing, cars passing, and they don't not stopping to put chains on. So all I did is just unhook, put the chains away, and away I go. So technically, I did chain up. Okay, I think I technically chain up, but I didn't use it. So I wasn't chaining up for the purpose. I just chaining up for practice, right? Anyways, but I guess the actual thing I want to find out, do you think chaining up is safe? Right? Now I know I'm going to get a bunch of mixed comments. For myself, I don't think chaining up is safe. Not at all. Same thing with unchaining. I don't think it's safe at all. Right? Now, when I have the chains on and moving, do they help? If there's snow and ice on the ground, yes. But the chains have to be on there tight. They cannot be on there just thrown on loose. And what some of these guys do, they just put the chain on instead of pulling a couple 100 feet ahead or a quarter mile ahead and rechecking to make sure everything's still tight. They just gone. And that's not the proper way of doing it, right? Like, you gotta actually stop and look at your chains and make sure everything's tight. So I also would like to have your guys' opinion. So if I have to chain up, is it safe to drive? Honestly, is it safe to drive if I have to chain up? Right? My answer to that would be no. Because if I need an aid to help me drive, that sounds like not a safe situation. So that's why my thinking for that is, if I know I have to chain up, avoid it. Really, just avoid it. If I have to wait a while for me to go through the pass, I'll do that. I've told my employer straight up that I'm not into chaining up. I'll only chain up if I'm in a situation like I was in when I was in Snoqualmie. But that's the only time. Now, am I scared to chain up? No. Does it require a little bit of effort? Yes. But do I feel safe doing it? No. Not at all. Not along the side of the highway like that. Now, if they had a pullout like they have in British Columbia, it's actually almost like a rest area. You actually are away from the highway and you go into a little pullout area and you chain up there. Now, that I feel safer chaining up in an area like that by far. And it doesn't bother me. But to do it on the shoulder, where there's a possibility of a chunk of chain flying off, hitting you, or a car sliding into you, and it's stuff like that that I'm really scared of. Does it happen? I'm sure it does, but we don't hear about it, right? Like, I've heard some pretty horrific story. I heard about one story where a guy was actually chaining up and a truck passed him and he hit a deer. And the deer spun around and went underneath the guy's trailer, just missing that guy. Again, right? Is it safe to chain up along the side of the highway like that? No. That's another thing. I just want to... So, for me, chaining up, it's for the birds. I'll try to find a way around it. If there's no way around it, I'll park, wait it out. The cargo in the back is not worth as much as the cargo in the front. I promise you that. The cargo in the back, it's replaceable. Me, it's really hard to replace me. Trust me, I'm sure of that. Other people might not think so, but that's their opinion. Now, so that's my outlook on the chaining, and some people are going to call me, I don't know, chicken of chaining, or he's scared of chaining and that. You know what? You're right. I'd rather be scared. I'd rather be a chicken of chaining than becoming the dead chicken on the road. Just saying. Anyways, this video is just going in circles right now. I want to thank you all again for watching. If you made it this far, remember to give it the thumbs up. And I really want to thank everybody again. It's awesome. Now, This is going to be my saying. Keep the shiny side up, the dirty side down. Keep those wheels turning around, because if they're not turning, you're not earning. Until then, be safe. Watch out for each other.